So this video is going to get dark. Alright guys, so I have to talk about this subject again because I am super annoyed at what we are all witnessing and watch, right? And so again, I'm going back to the Jeffrey Epstein files and talking about the whole sex trafficking industry and how that case was a segue into everything and anything that leads to missing kids or missing people in that world. Now, of course, no one else is crying about this. I don't hear one influencer. I don't hear not one politician going, what about the kids? I don't hear any politician going, this is a segue into the world that we need to get into to find these missing people and kids. Not one person's mentioning it. Everybody wants to pretend that they want to find these kids, that they want to go to this level of, listen, this subject will get people off and will get their entire family off, if I might add. And that's where the fear comes in. Because people are like, I don't want my kids to pass away or my parents or this, that, and the third. So then don't dive into that world. But if you're going to save kids, if you're going to save people, if you're going to find these people, sacrifices have to be made. That's where the problem is. People do not want to make that sacrifice. Now, me talking about this constantly, could I be red flagging myself? Absolutely. Could one day, all of a sudden, I get into a car accident, or I go on one of my hikes and a crackhead mugs me, or a rat bites me and I turn into a rat person? That could be the possibility, because they're going to try to minimize the voice of people talking about this. Now, again, I'm one dude. They're probably not paying attention. I might be on the radar, but nonetheless, this has to be spoken about. Because if you really want to find these kids, if you really want to stop this, and here's the rub. I don't hear any president talking about stopping this entire industry. I do not hear any president addressing this situation in its entirety. I don't hear one fucking politician talking about the groups of people that are moving these kids around and these adults around. Not one. A politician could stand on stage today, the president, who's not going to talk about it because ding, 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 he seems to be on that list. And a lot of people are like, what does it mean if he's on that list? Listen, there's a couple of lists you don't want to be on in your life. Epstein and a pedophile list are the two lists you do not want to be on. So when people are like, what does it mean because he's on our list? I'm like, where'd you hear that bullshit? Some fucking right-wing asshole saying it doesn't mean anything if he's on. Absolutely it does. If people end up on a list they're not supposed to be on, that means there's some truth to it. Period. Now, President Trump could stand on stage today and be like, you know what? We're going to find these kids. We're going to lay a plan out that's going to hunt these people down. Now, you had I think it was the FBI director or Homeland Security, one of the two, was stating earlier this year that he was going to try his best to find these missing kids. He actually made a statement about it, and then that was it. I didn't hear a fucking peep. And the Epstein file was the file to get into that world. That file, that list of people who are moving these kids around are in there. The organizations that are involved are in there. And here's the problem. Everyone in the political arena, whether that's the FBI, the CIA, the ATF, you name the three-letter organizations, they know who these people are. The NSA, they know each and every one of these organizations. They know the heads of these organizations. They know these people. They know who they are. And nothing is being done. They sit back and go, well, we want to get the whole... No, you don't. You know exactly who everybody is. Everyone. You know where they are. You know who they're moving them to. You know that obscure jungle in the middle of, what was it, South America? They're holding kids there and they're moving them in and out of it. There's places out in the Middle East, in towns in the middle of Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan that are holding these missing kids as well. You got places in Italy, France, China, rural areas where these kids are being held. You got them being held right under your nose in cities like New York, and nothing's being done about it. In fact, there's an organization, it's a religious organization, that's out west. And again, I bring them up because I know the people who know them. But no one wants to make a move on them because the FBI is watching. Because God said not to do anything. What? It's convenient for God to tell you to do the good things, to do this, to do that. But when it's time to enact some violence and get some shit done, all of a sudden he's telling you not to do it. I'm not buying that shit at all. When it comes to missing kids, God is going to be on your side, because kids are God's angels. They're the reason why a lot of people are happy. They're the reason why Earth keeps moving in the direction it moves. These are the most innocent beings on this planet until they become us. And then the world tries to corrupt you or corrupts you. But they're the lead in everything that goes on in the world. And the world can be made better by kids in the way they're raised. And the segue into finding these kids, and all of a sudden everybody throws their hands up because they're fucking scared. And the amount of fear that is pushed on these people who are looking for the kids is insane. Now, the guy in that movie, I forgot the missing kid movie that came out last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was, he said that he got, and I mean, the amount of pushback he got from the three-letter agencies here in the United States was insane. In fact, a lot of them didn't even want to help him find these kids. He had to do it on his own, right? So when he said that, I'm like, they're all in on it, guys. Everybody's in on this. There's no innocent person in this realm. These people are actively going out of their way to make sure you can't find these kids. And if you bring it up, they're sitting there going, well, there's a lot of red tape. We're not allowed to do that. We can't go into Mexico. We can't do this. You can't go into Mexico for kids. You can't go into other countries for kids, but you could start an entire war over oil. You could start an entire war over a fucking deposit of minerals or rare metals in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Iran. You can start that shit, but you can't find kids. Again, you can trade a lesbian dude basketball player for a mercenary, Russian mercenary, but you can't find fucking kids. Something is wrong with the world, and we're allowing it. Now, this is where the tough part comes in. Sacrifice. If you're a single guy, you can definitely get away with this. But if you have kids and family, you're definitely risking their lives. And that's the question. How much are you willing to risk to blow this open? How much are you willing to risk to find hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of missing kids, even if it's their corpse? What is the risk? And how far are you willing to go? Now, I ask myself that question all the time, and I'm like, I'm torn, because I get it. I have kids. But there's another side of me that's like, but there are tens of thousands of missing kids out there that could be found. It's a tough question. It's a tough place to be. But we can start with the little things by pressuring politicians into this. That's where it starts. And if we know exactly where these groups of people are, maybe we can start attacking them. Maybe we can start going after them on our own. Forget the FBI, forget the cops. Maybe we should start making moves on them on our own. Just a thought. But anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.